He often said to his wife, when he sat down to dine, "I don't care where the water goes, if it doesn't get into the wine." When G.K. Chesterton wrote those words, he might have been talking about a cruise on an English canal. Who cares where the water may take us, while the travelling is calm, sedate, carefree? This is the story of one man's journey on the longest, and some would say the most beautiful, single continuous canal in Britain, the Kennet and Avon. This is Reading, where the Kennet and Avon Canal meets the Thames after an eventful journey of nearly 90 miles from Bristol. Howard Peyton lives in Hungerford, one of a host of picturesque towns and villages visited by the canal on its travels. He sets off on his travels wanting to be one of the first to experience the new Kennet and Avon adventure, a sentimental journey along a waterway revived. This long, long leisure trail originally came into being only because commerce needed a reliable cross-country route for its goods. The Avon River in the west and the Thames in the east were both navigable for some miles inland. From Elizabethan times, surveyors and engineers thought about a means of linking them, and by 1723, the first moves had been made. John Hall constructed 20 locks and 11 miles of artificial cuts on the River Kennet, opening a water route between Reading and Newbury. In 1727, the Avon was made navigable as far upriver as Bath, but it was nearly 100 years more before the 57-mile stretch between Newbury and Bath was completed. In those days, Reading, like Newbury, was a centre of the cloth trade. But through the 19th century, other industries were to make the name of Reading famous. They were beer from Simmons Brewery, biscuits made by Huntley and Palmer's, and later the third of the 3 Bs, bulbs, from Sutton Seeds. But it was biscuits that was to make the name of Reading known across the world. From their canal-side factory, Huntley and Palmer's colourful biscuit tins were shipped out to soldiers in Afghanistan, diplomats in China, and ranchers in America. Transport by waterway from this old Huntley and Palmer's factory to London for export continued until the end of the Second World War. It was a smooth ride, with fewer broken biscuits at the end of it. Reading Jail, where Oscar Wilde wrote, "I never saw a man who looked with such a wistful eye upon that little tint of blue that prisoners call the sky." A sad start to our journey, perhaps, but it does at least remind us that we should treasure our freedom and our lazy leisure hours in quiet and thought-provoking places such as here, in Reading's Abbey ruins. The more modern commercial face of Reading can also enjoy views along this historic canal. The modern way of working means that we can all enjoy much more leisure time than those who toiled long hours here in Reading in the canal's early days. It doesn't matter whether your home is a mansion or a terrace. Living with water at the bottom of your garden is a great bonus. A cruise along this canal is about the slowest journey across the land imaginable. No more than 4 miles an hour. Please, Captain. But there was a time when this was the motorway of the transport world. The most reliable route from west to east, often for passengers as well as for cargoes. For the people who plied that trade, the canal was not only a place of work, it was a home. Many of them lived out their entire lives on the canal, toiling, eating, sleeping, bringing up their families to face the same prospects, the same future, the same endless travels. 87.5 miles, 111 bridges to go over, around or under, 104 locks, more than 200 gates to open and more than 200 gates to close. And some of those locks were a tight fit for just one barge. With one or more craft in tow, you might have to go all through the process again for each one of them. A journey from Bath to London usually took 10 days, if the going was good. A life constantly on the move, dangerous too, at times. When the Kennet navigation section was opened in 1724, bargees were stoned by angry locals who thought their livelihood was threatened by the new influx of trade. One operator was warned.
Work a boat any more to Newbury and we'll kill you. We was very near shooting you last time. First time your boat lays at Reading loaded, damn you, we'll bore holes in her. So don't come to starve our families and our masters.
For many decades after the trading people left the canal, it was unused and fell into disrepair, to an almost hopeless condition in some places. A small army of people, a volunteer army, helped bring it back to life, as did an intensive repair and maintenance program by British Waterways that continues today. It is an incredible achievement, helped all along the route by funding and assistance from county, district and borough councils and job creation schemes. Kennet and Avon Canal Trust members gave up their weekends, their holidays, their evenings, spending 28 years and more than £2.5 million on this good cause. When Monkey Marsh Lock at Thatcham was reopened with appropriate celebration, it was the last but one link in the chain of restoration. An early turf-sided lock, it is now designated an ancient monument.